Hey you, so on this video, how much will this coin appreciate by? I'm going to be gaining on this silver Krugerrand that I purchased, the 2017 edition. I'm going to be speaking on the silver Krugerrands and even the South African mint as a whole, but focus on this one coin that I locked in on, as this was the coin on the 2017 range that I ultimately ended up locking in on, and that was the silver proof. I'll give details on why and just how it's been since I picked it up, my thoughts when I picked it up, where I thought it was going and where it currently is. So, we'll speak on that now. So how much will this coin appreciate by? So this is the outer packaging. So going in off of this coin, I'll say this, I think this coin, the 2017 silver Krugerrand release, was a prime example of dealer and mint greed / stupidity. On personal thoughts and opinions there. This coin had a lot of promise, but it ended up failing to deliver because I think the dealers, I would say the mint being unable to produce silver in good quality, and then also being greedy when it came to the mintage, and also the dealers running away with it, taking absolute advantage. It was a coin that a lot of people were talking about, including myself, before it even came out, and before it even had a time to even drop. Dealers didn't even know what they were doing when it was hiking prices. EMK was the main culprit in Europe, if you ask me. That was a dealer that I had locked in with. So we go over the mintage of this. This silver proof here came out on 15k mintage. So once again, talking on them quickly, my experience when I was purchasing this coin. It was something that their site can normally do, basically, and it's when you see a coin that's up for a set price, you put the coin in the basket, and it doesn't allow you to complete the purchase. I don't know whether that's just engaging, that would be a bit too tinfoil hatty, but it was a situation where you wasn't able to complete the sale, then you was able to complete the sale, not give payment, had them in your cart, and then I think it was a day or so later you'd receive an email from an employee at EMK stating that the coins were now available at the inflated price, and the price that you locked in on, I think at the time I'd locked in at 6, wasn't available, and they just didn't give a damn. So that's once again absolute dealer stupidity at its finest and greed, and ultimately where it's left this coin. So I think this coin's ended up in a bad position. So this video is going to be a coin I purchased and owned, what I thought would do very well, that isn't doing too well in certain variations of the coin. So we can see all the stats on the piece. I, like everybody else, heard first time, bought into the marketing. I believe it was government or one of the US dealers that was doing a lot of legwork for this coin when it first came out. It was a first, and just the way it was minted and the etching and, the privy 50 in the corner. First time in silver. It had a lot of people conversing about this coin. A lot of people were asking me and talking on whether they was going to purchase it. The number one big thing that ended up being with this coin here was the price that it was asking for. It was the BU mainly. I mean, when the BU first came out, the 2017 BU, identical to this, just BU, they'd mentioned some special type of way they'd minted these coins, but I believe they wanted around £35. It ended up being in pounds and around $45. Now, I know some people paid more when it first came out. That was on a million mintage, so 1 million on the BU. And it was just dealers was not letting go of the price. They was really working for the publicity of the coin, all of the hype of the coin, and that was what you was paying if you wanted this coin. I know a few people that locked in at that price. It was just one, they wanted one. This coin can be very nostalgic for a lot of individuals, whether they've gold has been passed down within the family, or they just purchased a gold, or one of the first gold coins they saw. So seeing it in silver really was a massive thing, and they locked in. Ultimately, they went on to lose a lot of money. Now, the first thing that plagued this coin was the quality control. All across the world, the silver Krugerrand got held up with a lot of dealers. It was meant to be going on sale a lot of places. Ended up being put on hold because of quality. They were shipping these out, and it was basically coming in these, and even the ones that came in the tubes, and the quality of them was horrendous. I mean, it was a massive thing even for dealers to have to confess that they was having to send batches back because of the quality. What I ultimately think ended up happening, because this was purchased from a UK dealer, was they had reached out to a lot of dealers they had sent these to, and basically said, look guys, there's a massive problem with quality control. Send them back. Once again, it's my own thinking here and what I believe happened. I'll give some insight into how I came to the conclusion. asked dealers to send them back, and dealers that chose not to send them back either got them at a reduced price, which they could have then passed on to customers, or got them at a price where they was no longer going to keep on hiking. So it would have saved them both some time. They would have had a defect batch they could have offloaded on it, any sucker that wanted them, and the mint didn't have to deal with transporting them back and forward. I say that because a UK dealer ended up, from what I saw, putting these silver proofs on sale in large quantity. One of the first dealers in Europe, I believe, that had them for a very handsome price. Not mistaken, off the top of my head. Now look at the quality. I'll try and get the quality in on this coin as I'm yapping away. Price off the top of my head, I believe, was £70. I don't know if we've got any type of milk spots there or hazing. Just around this area here was just the condensation. I brought this out of storage. And they was able to have a large batch of these at a very handsome price. I got in contact with them. I did purchase a bulk amount. I think I done a video. You can catch that on one of my earlier videos. And I quizzed them about how they was able to be selling these that were selling for double at the time. I believe EMK even had these up for double the price. Why and how they was able to have them up for basically £70. They was never able, different answers from different reps, very sketchy. You know, some was just saying they don't know. The dealer, the owner of the company had a batch tucked away in storage and it was just a great deal. It was all about the hard sell, the hard push. Such a great deal. Don't worry about where they came from. Don't worry about how they got them. Just buy. Ultimately, a lot of UK stackers ended up purchasing from this dealer, and what they ended up doing was some shady tactics, because these also suffered from the quality control issues, and people ended up sending them back. Now, people were taking down their COA numbers, and it came to be that this dealer was actually getting the defected coins back and just shipping them out to another mug, in their eyes, for them to actually take that practice. And they was literally just shifting them about. If, for instance, I bought 10, I know for a fact some sort of person, sad, received the defect batch. You know, I ended up keeping one. It was the best of the worst, and the rest got shifted off to some other, you know, unknowing individual. That was a bad thing. So that ultimately was the final nail in the coffin when it came to the silver Krugerrand. They suffered from quality control. It was something I don't believe the mint ended up getting under control. I think they just ultimately, with the dealers, that they greedily came up with this price, took their approach of just reducing the price. Now, it took them a very long time to do that. They could have sold a lot more, if you ask me. I was speaking with dealers that wasn't very impressed because the quality was so bad, yet they didn't want to give the coins out for a lower price. So it was just individuals either getting same defected coins, or dealers just not willing to accept them, where ultimately they ended up reducing the prices altogether, which really hurt this coin, because like I'm showing here, I don't know if it could be seen, like I said, a bit of hazing. So it was the final nail in the coffin for this coin, which ended up it just stagnating. Now, getting on prices, this coin, ultimately what the topic of this video is, how much will it appreciate in price. I think it's one of these coins that's stagnated now twofold, because one, the dealers have brought out the 2018, which when I first picked up the coin, I believe I'd done a video on it stating if it was going to be a one-off. This is what we didn't have a definite answer on. The price in the long run could have been justified, because as time went by, it would have been the only time you was getting a silver Krugerrand. I'm going to do the unthinkable and actually hold this on the outer proof coin. It would have been the only time you would be getting a proof or even a silver Krugerrand, and that would have been the 2017 edition. So as years went by, it would have ultimately appreciated in price. But we've now got a 2018, and now it's going to be an annual thing from what I understand. So that was one of the things that ultimately killed this 2017 edition. And two, it was the quality control. So when this first came out, I believe dealers were asking double what they wanted. It's around, this is the proof talking on here, it was around £70. Dealers were asking anywhere of £120, double the price, and same wise goes for US. So it's looking about $180, £95. We would have picked up that price. The BUs once again was around £35, $45. That's gone to be absolutely slashed in price. It took them a very long time to do that, and they dragged their feet. And also, they really diluted and really drained out the design in silver. And that's going off of one a recent video I done when I mentioned the Big Five elephant coin design, which news I've recently found out is going to be suffering from the same situation this suffers from, and that's going to be them overproducing the coin. Yes, it was highlighted that this was in a 15k mintage, but ultimately it came out in every set. So it was just this one version they brought out on a gold set, a silver set, a standalone silver set. They just produced so many where, like the Royal Mint, they didn't tell you how many coins in circulation altogether. It was just how many in that specific packaging, which, coupled with the overpricing and horrendous quality, was a no-no. Now, there was a little caveat on that, and that was on the silver proof here. If you was able to slab this coin and get a 70, to date, I believe those still do demand such a high premium, because when you have a coin that's littered with bad quality control, to have a good example, ultimately you're going to be able to ask big bucks. And I have seen one recently sell on eBay for around £750. So we're talking some big money there. So that's upwards of $1,000 that this coin is still commanding. And that's a recent sell. So, you know, there is still hope if you was able to get one of the lucky few. But once again, the South African Mint, being as greedy as they are, if you ask me, they was tightly in bed with the dealers. So I think Amex had first dibs, and they was able to do what they done. So they must have went through thousands getting these graded, then offloaded the bad defects, and was able to play the dealer and slash cowboy collector middleman. So they also worked with the Mint to wipe out anybody that else was planning on doing the same thing. But not to forget, we're all, you know, cogs in the same machine. Everybody should play their role. You know, the Mint should produce them, the dealer should sell them, then us, the buying customers, should choose whether we want to be a hardcore collector and collect them, or a cowboy collector and flip them. And then everybody leaves happy, and then, you know, rinse, repeat, and rinse, repeat. But no, that's not the case. This was a coin that many dealers wanted to play dealer and cowboy flipper slash collector on, and just obliterated us, the little guy, and played the top man, the bottom man, and the middle man. So if you got one of the rare ones, which I believe Atmex more than likely got all of them, and even EMK, you was able to see some big bucks from that. But other than that, this just fell flat. Where the price is now and where I see it going is stagnant. You've got dealers or individuals asking anywhere about £150, you know, $200, $250, $350. But whether they're selling for that's a different story. What I see them selling for is practically what they came out for. If not under £70 to $100, then, you know, that's if you want to move it. There's so many in circulation, so many lingering about, that it doesn't make it a good resale. So I don't see the price screaming up, and especially not to forget that we now have the 2018s. There was some slight differences on the 2018s, and that the silver proofs had a mintage of, I believe, 20,000, where these had 15,000. But the initial start price on those is £50. So now remember, dealers were initially selling this for upwards of £120, £150. So that's a massive difference. So once again, if you locked in on the 2017 off the bat, and this is why I first mentioned dealer and Mint stupidity and greed, because now that both of them have seen the debacle that happened on the 2017, they've come to their senses and have to play ball. And this is why ultimately I think they're all going to end up losing in the long run, because whether they like it or not, and they see me as just a little spark in the big thing, sparks end up starting big fires. And that's what's happening throughout the entire coin and mint industry with a lot of the dealer greed. I think the mints should really have a word with the dealers, and dealers themselves. We know times are hard, but it doesn't mean when you can get the opportunity, you can, you know, have the customers' pants around their ankles. You can now pick up the 2018 proof for £50, around $67, under $70. And you can't even get the 2017 are still selling for more than that, because more than likely dealers locked in at a higher rate. And it's even worse that the 2018 BUs now on an unlimited mintage, whereas the 2017s, I believe, was on a 1 million mintage. You can pick those up anywhere from £17. That's around $22. So you're looking at double for the 2017, and that was their initial release that they really botched, if you ask me. So I think it ultimately killed the 2017 just for those two reasons there. Side note, I see this happening with the Big Five. You know, when I done the video recently, Hot or Not New Coins, and mentioned how much I did love the elephant, I've now seen that they're going to be bringing out the elephant in many different variations. It's going to come out with a silver elephant and a Krugerrand, so, and then a platinum version and a gold version. Now they highlight the low mintage, but it's only for the specific blister package. They're then going to highlight the mintage on this. So I think they overproduce. The South African Mint totally haven't got it. You know, they don't produce mintage numbers. Their quality is horrendous. They would sooner shoot for the stars and then deal with the blowback afterwards with the dealers. If they can sell a few, sell a few. If they can't. I think their model in as a whole, even from the gold proofs, which they are nice, but I think this is just falls in line with the Libertads, which seem to be doing very well. It's the same design. You're just getting different years or some form of a privy mark. They'll ultimately end up going the same way, giving you a reverse proof, a proof reverse, a reverse proof, a proof reverse. You're going to get the same thing, but you're going to get it really churnt out. So I think with a lot of the South African Mint, until they really get it and, you know, stop sleeping with the dealers so close, and the dealers ultimately will never get it until it's game over, you're not going to be able to keep on churning them out with and mentioning mintage numbers. Why bother if you're going to only end up diluting it and not even giving us final mintage numbers altogether? So you're playing off of the low mintage game, appealing to us, but then churning them out in so many different variants. I think that's going to end up with the big 5 release that they've got coming out, and that's a lot of the stuff from the South African Mint. Moving forward, I'm going to play the position of just waiting in the sidelines for a lot of their coins. I do think these are nice designs. I ended up keeping this. As we can see, the quality is what it is, but I think with the big 5, even when it comes out in gold, a lot of their gold stuff is grossly overpriced. You've good luck on seeing any returns back on that. Those do not sell for a premium. I've had a few people contact me in the past asking if I'd be interested at reduced prices, but with a lot of the gold Krugerrand stuff, even when you go to a dealer, they'll gladly offer you spot priced. There is a market, but I haven't come across them to date, but I'm not saying that it definitely isn't, but that's where they are. They shoot up in price and mintage, and it is what it is. You've got the same thing over the years. Now you can go back and see a lot of the gold sets, but with the silver sets, I think we're going to be getting these forever. So it took a lot of the luster away from the 2017. We now have the 2018s at much more sensible prices. So if you want one, you can pick one up now. That's virtually identical, minus the privy, which didn't work out no good for the 2017s, is a much better buy. So I think those things combined on top of is why I don't think this is going to do too well. So where do I see this price going? Where it is. I don't see it shooting up. I can't see anything that's going to make it shoot up now. We have the 2018s in circulation with numbers and prices out. I think if you purchase these at a high price, if you're a collector, once again, this isn't for you, but you're more than happy. I doubt you care what the price is. Yes, you want to get it for the best price, but it is what it is. If you're like myself, you purchase these with intentions of flipping late, early, or, you know, as soon as possible. It didn't quite work out for me, but it'd be fantastic to hear how it did for you. Was you able to flip these while there was a lot of hype going around, or did you end up getting stung? Luckily, I was able to send back the bulk that I had, but it'd be fantastic to hear what you guys think of the silver Krugerrand. Did you think it was a flop or not? Did you think 2017 was going to be the only year that they was released? That was something I was trying to find out as hard as possible. It was mixed reviews I was getting back. Some were saying it was, I can't remember what they were saying, but it was just a one-off. You know, it was just going to be a one-off. Of course, the Mint wasn't giving no details. The dealers were just coming to their senses and realizing they can't do what they keep on doing. You're seeing it now with the Elephant. Once again, the price is sharp to where it's at. Not to forget that their quality is bad, and they have a knack for highlighting low mintage, but bringing them out in so many different variants. So you'll get the 15,000 on the big 5 in a blister pack, but then you'll get 15 or 20,000 as a single mixed with another coin, then a platinum version, then a gold version. So they're going to dilute the range ultimately. So I think these are great if you wait for them to just test their time. Give it anything from 12 to 18 months after initial release, and then you should be able to pick them up for what they're really worth. Overpriced grossly, if you ask me. They're silver. It's fantastic for bullion grade, low premium gold, but when it comes to silver, whether it's BU or proof, especially on the 2017 release, then wasn't worth the hype. But hey, all love it, guys. It'd be fantastic to hear your thoughts and experience with the silver Krugerrand in the comments, whether you think it was a hit or not. What do you think about them releasing the 2018s and the likes of, and will you be investing, or will you just be standing on the sidelines? Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, guys, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.